Hi,
Hi,
I'm Nick,
I'm Jill.
and we're
We're
Hipstrings.
Hipstrings.
So,
Nice.
we are not particularly celebrating anything podcast-wise or Hipstrings-wise. We just like drinking. No, we actually got this bottle of wine from my parents because we just celebrated our 12th anniversary. But we also like doing mixed drinks with champagne. So this is a elderflower champagne mix, and this is cheers, episode 6. We don't have a name yet. There'll be something clever, maybe.
Maybe. We'll see.
Um,
Today is July 12th,
yes,
2017.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
We're Hipstrings. You can find us on Instagram, Ravelry, YouTube, the Twitter, Facebook as Hipstrings.
And you'll notice that we are closer this time, thanks to a suggestion from one of our viewers. Thank you very much. Hopefully we are not so ugly that we should go back next time. So I guess on with the show.
Yeah. So Warped, Twisted, and Loopy, what we've been up to lately. So since Tour de Fleece has been going on, I've actually managed to get a whole bunch of spinning done. Like, I have not spun this much in months.
And I spun for one of the days because I failed miserably because work got insane, and that's my only excuse.
Most of my spinning was work, so.
Yeah. No, that's still no excuse. I'm sure all of you have done much better than I have, so.
So I did some plying. This is white-faced ibis. This was a hand-dyed colorway I did for a special cotton spin-along this beginning of this year in the Sweets Off the Wheel group on Ravelry. And so I just two-plied this. I'm still working on my wheel-spun cotton. There were lots of spots that were not properly spun on this, and it broke. But I'm working at it. Sometimes you have to bear down and do the things that you don't like to do in order to get better.
Well, you like spinning cotton.
I like spinning cotton. I just don't like spinning it on a wheel.
I would argue that you just prefer spinning it on a spindle, because I remember the first time you got a wheel that could spin cotton, you were giddy and couldn't stop spinning cotton for some time. It was a very short time, but
yeah.
The difference, right, being that with a spindle you can get a lot of twist very quickly in there, which is important for short staple fiber like cotton, but you can control it a lot easier, especially if you do like a park and draft method, like I always suggest for beginners, especially with the spindles. But with the wheel,
it tends to suck it onto the bobbin, or you think it has enough twist and you let it go onto the bobbin before it actually has enough twist.
And that's really a practice thing, because I've had people look at me like I'm crazy when I say that it's hard to spin cotton on a wheel. I've had people who've spun cotton on a drop spindle, and when I told them that they were insane, it wasn't possible, they just picked it up immediately and showed it to me.
No. I've had people who spin cotton drop spindles who are like, oh, I'm sure you would have no problem spinning on a drop spindle. You know, you're a really good cotton spinner because they can't spin it on a supported spindle yet. And I'm like, no. I've tried Turkish spindles. I've tried drop spindles. I can spin on an Aka that's used as a drop, but there's a lot of dropping in that. My preferred method is still support spindle.
You'll notice I'm fidgeting with this because it's incredibly soft and wonderful.
It is. It's really nice.
Good cotton is very nice, and this is a cool color. Anyways, go on to the next one.
And then I spun up the yarn for another distillation cowl, which we will be talking about more. So I just got started on the beginning of it. So this is the blend, Blue Heron. And then here are the 6 colors that go in.
I think we're so far zoomed in you can't see them, so I will help you.
Pick them up. They're really messy bowls. I thought I fixed my bowl winder, and in turn I made it go fast, and so it's not winding balls as nicely.
That just means you have to use them up faster.
So this will probably be my car knitting for on the way to Nashville, and my public knitting while I'm at the retreat. So the retreat would be the Super Summer Knit Together in Nashville, Tennessee, put on by the Knit Girls, which I'm super excited. Be there in a week. A week, Nick.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it is a week, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've got one more thing at work to deal with until then, and so I'm not paying attention to that quite yet.
And then I spun this.
Alternate?
No, because I'm just gonna go through this stuff, and then we'll talk about sweaters. So and then this is, you can see I'm so excited about this yarn. I already started knitting with it. This is from our first Color Theory box, which hopefully I will get all put together.
Hold it up while you're talking about it.
By SSK. And so what it is, it's a rainbow, so 6 color blends. It's a merino tussa mulberry silk blend. So it gives you your 3 primaries, so red, yellow, and blue. And then it also gives you the secondaries, but the secondaries are not done, they are just done by optical blending. There's no like orange dyed fiber or no green dyed fiber or purple dyed fiber in this. This is red and yellow. This is blue and yellow to get your secondaries. So it just is doing shades of primaries and neutrals to get all the colors.
And the way you did it was you also had some transitioning through blending.
So the kit has 6, and then what I did in the kind of this pattern and how to spin a rainbow that will come with the 6 colors will be how to do a transition, so do more blending to get intermediates in between the primary and the secondary. And so I actually did this, a new technique to me, since I had already started spinning the comb top and I wanted to keep my fibers combed for the entire spin. So for the blending, I wanted to use like a hackle, but my hackle's at the studio and I didn't bring it home and I wanted to do my spinning. So instead I grabbed a comb. I have some double row Viking combs from Indigo Hound, and I used those as a mini hackle and was able to fit the like half ounce of, I forget if it was a half ounce or ounce of fiber, half ounce of fiber that I was using for each additional blend, and then just spun from the combs. And so it was really fun trying to keep that away from the 2-year-old.
He did not stab himself in the face, thankfully.
But it was a new technique for me, and it turned out pretty well. And so then I have 12 colors. So I'm just knitting a tube of stockinette, and I will graft the beginning to the end when I'm done with it.
Magical rainbow donut.
Yes. So on to knitting.
There's one more spinning thing.
What? Oh, no, we're going to talk about that after the sweaters. Yeah.
I totally need to get on the game here.
Look at the notes. There's an outline.
Okay. So I believe I've gotten like 6 more rows since 2 weeks ago.
Well, if you knit during the podcast, you'll get 6 more rows.
That's definitely possible. Now I've just had a crazy couple of weeks, and so I'm looking forward to catching back up to this because, I chugged through the first sleeve, and now the second.
Yeah.
I've got second sock syndrome with my sleeves apparently.
They're called sleevels.
What?
Sleevels.
What are sleevels?
Evil sleeves.
Oh. I don't blame.
Either you don't get gauge, or it's like second sock syndrome.
I don't blame the sleeves. It's completely my fault. But yeah, so I'm gonna get back to doing this while Jill talks about her incredible progress.
I've got a sleeve.
Yes, you do.
My sleeve's a lot smaller than your sleeve.
Yeah, but that's still more knitting than I did last time.
And then I started a second sleeve, and my second sleeve is much smaller than your second sleeve.
Percentage-wise, I guess.
So that's the progress on my crazy heart for Adrian.
Yeah. Next time we'll have a lot more progress on mine, I hope. I hope
Yeah,
we started on the body
I've just
by
been
next
distracted with fresh new handspun to knit with.
time.
So.
Well, it's Tour de Fleece too. You're not supposed to knit on Tour de Fleece.
I know,
It
but
distracts from the spinning.
I have been really distracted from the spinning because I want to be knitting with the new handspun.
Yeah. Well.
I haven't spun today yet.
Uh-oh.
I'll have to fix that.
Yeah, we'll have to. I don't know if you could spin during the podcast.
No.
Okay, and then, but I do have a finished object,
Yes, you do.
which it took me 6 episodes to get a finished object, right? Yeah.
No, you've had a finished object.
Did I?
Pretty sure.
I don't know.
We'll look back.
We'll have to look back. I think this is my first finished object in 6 episodes. I gotta clear the table here, because remember that blue wheel? Well, it is now a finished, decorated wheel. We now have our Hipstrings Modern Fiber Art edition louet wheel. You can see the treadle itself also has our logo on it. And we went back and forth quite a bit on the pattern we were going to put on the wheel, but this was the first design we ever did on a spindle. So we figured that is appropriate for putting on the wheel. And as you can see, it already has some stuff on it from last night. We just finished putting it together last night. I apparently can't do things in short, reasonable time frames. It's either most or nothing. So I actually started. I don't remember if we talked about this last time, but I started the.
It took you a month.
It did take me a month, but I did it in two sitting sessions.
Yes.
One was when people at my birthday party started watching YouTube videos, and I decided, you know what, I'm not just going to sit and watch YouTube videos. So I drunkenly sat on the floor and stained the wheel and put together the rest of the structure.
Mm-hmm.
And then you went off and you actually did put Danish oil on everything. And last night I decided, okay, I've been doing a bunch of presentations at work. I'm exhausted. Why don't I go and finish the wheel? So took it apart a little bit.
Before I know it, the vinyl cutter's going, and
I took apart the treadle so that I could etch our logo. Messed that up, sanded it back down, tried again, messed it up, sanded it back down, tried again.
measure twice, etch once.
Was that it?
Yeah.
I thought it was measure once, etch 5 times. I thought I was ahead of the game.
No.
All right, so yeah, this will be up in our shop, and we'll be taking some pictures to send to Louet for yet another beautiful design. And I kind of want to keep doing this because this was really fun. I mean, it took a while, but it's neat to put your mark on the wheel.
Well, now we know what to do.
Yeah.
It'll be easier.
That wasn't hard to start off with.
No.
It's just a matter of finding the time in between everything else to do it. But yeah, if we love taking suggestions, and if anybody wants us to decorate their wheel for them, I'm sure we could work something out. So.
So I took it for a test spin last night because you don't get a new wheel and then just let it sit there.
Yeah.
And it surprised me. I've heard so much about louettes and in general kind of how bobbin lead wheels behave, and so I was expecting something that didn't happen. So I was expecting to have to spin without the brake on the flyer at all, but that didn't have enough take up, and I was spinning fairly fine, so I needed a pretty light take up. So I actually had to put on the brake a good bit in order to get the take up that I needed.
Well, also you're an experienced spinner, right? So a lot of these people that have.
Let's have you try it out.
Yeah, I should.
And see what you think of it.
I tried to spin on it while standing up.
Which doesn't work. That doesn't work on any wheel as far as I know, except a great wheel.
Well, Chris seemed to get his treadling quite well while standing on the
He's
treadles.
also you know, 3 feet tall and
Yes.
weighs 25 pounds.
And when he stands, his hands are just about the right
height
for
for
spinning.
yeah.
We really need to get him on actually trying to spin, because that would be hilarious.
Yeah. So yeah, the take up was not what I was imagining. Like, I'm still getting used to a single treadle, which flexes my Achilles a little bit much. I'm getting used to it. I have really tight Achilles. It shouldn't be a problem for normal people. But I also like with the single treadle, it has this nice heel toe action, so that you can actually put some force down with your heel to get the wheel started. And the wheel has
Get it going in the right direction.
and get it going in the right direction. I feel like I have more control over the directionality of my wheel. But then there's also trying to figure out how to describe it. The take up isn't constant, because there is kind of a rise and a fall to the wheel and the speed. And so there is a time when your single's pulling into the bobbin harder than it is at other times.
Well, that makes sense, because you're only pushing on half of the cycle instead of the whole cycle, right? So with the double treadle, you're pushing with
You're
one foot
evening
on
out
one half of the treadle or of the cycle, and the other foot on the other half of the cycle. And with one, you're pushing it, and that makes it go faster, and you have to make it have enough momentum to go around a full cycle. So, I mean, because you have the heel action, it is possible for you to probably put almost continuous force on it, but the heel's not going to have nearly as much force as the toe.
But I have to say, I've spun on some other wheels that are more expensive than this. This is Louet's like entry-level wheel. It comes as a kit. It's unfinished wood.
The S17.
The S17. But it's only $390, and it works with all of their accessories. So you can get like high-speed flyer for it. You can get the art yarn flyer for it.
And if you're not decorating it, it doesn't take a month to put together.
Right. It would take an evening. Not even.
Yeah.
And so for the price, it's a really good wheel, especially for a beginner.
Yeah.
So this one's going to come live at the studio and hopefully entice some other people to buy some Louet wheels from us. So that's exciting. Yes. Another wheel enters the herd. And I'm realizing I'm having this, like, my wheel accumulation is a 6-month cycle.
Well, we're safe for another 6 months. And I know what to get you for Christmas now.
Do you?
A wheel.
Which one? Do you know which one I want next?
No, I don't think it matters.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, okay.
I have ideas.
I've got 6 months to figure it out.
Okay. So we're going to go on and move to talking about Tour de Fleece. I really want to say thank you to the people who are spinning on the Hipstrings team. It has been really amazing to wake up every day, look at Ravelry, and see all of the wonderful spinning that everybody is doing, and especially so much love for Hipstrings fiber and Hipstrings spindles. It's really encouraging, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
So thank you. Keep the pictures coming. I'm not spinning as much because I kind of already spun up everything I wanted to spin for the month in like the first week.
Well, you need to change your priorities. Yeah.
So now I'm spinning some kind of precious single, like 4-ounce allotments of fiber that I haven't been spinning because, well, I usually like spinning for larger things, but I want projects that I can finish this month. So, and I don't know if I'll finish these because I'm spinning them super fine because I'm taking pleasure in it and not trying to finish it. So I'm spinning some Yarn Shine Plum Pumpkin, 2 bats of that, and I absolutely love Yarn Shine's bats and rologs. They're my favorites from other fiber artists. And then I'm also spinning some 20 micron merino from Heavenly Wools in her Pansies colorway. And I have to say, like, my expectation with merino is kind of the processed to death merino that we usually have to deal with. This is not that. So her merino and also the Hanui crossbred breed that she dyes on are both, they're locally raised in New Zealand. This is a New Zealand-based dyer. And so spinning this merino is a lot more like spinning a fiber like Rambouillet or Targhee. It has that bounce. It has that crimp. It is so nice to spin with and super soft.
Yeah, I was really shocked when you pulled it out and I felt it, and it's merino's supposed to be a soft fiber, and this is,
and it is
softer
like even
than
the commercial preps, like the mass manufacturer commercial preps that we deal with, when they're in yarn, they're really nice, but spinning them isn't always the best, like, most fun, bouncy thing to spin. But this is...
It's unique.
It is very unique and worth it. And if you are U.S. based, the currency exchange really in your favor for New Zealand dyers right now. So you have no excuse to not check out her shop. She's currently on holiday in Australia visiting family for a month. But when her shop comes back open, you should get yourself some.
All right.
And you are, the little bit of spinning you have been doing.
Little spinning I did was, actually, I've been doing some alpaca, but it wasn't the alpaca that I showed last time. It's the black alpaca that was my first spinning project. That was from 24 Alpaca, wasn't it? Or was it from...
That was from Highland Alpaca.
Highland Alpaca. So that was north of Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, so I think...
And you finished one bump of that.
I did. And I had... Little did I know the concept of a stash at that point in time when I was young and innocent. But I went through it, and it's this wonderful black alpaca that we should take photos and make sure we insert some of these things that we're talking about. Super soft, super smooth, and it has some like white strands in it that look like they're sparkle, but not really. And it's all alpaca. It just has this.
No, I think that one has some added sparkle.
That one has added sparkle?
Yes.
Okay. Well, anyways, it's really pretty. It reminds me of my aging hair.
Even guys can do sparkle.
Yes. I keep on talking about how, ponies and sparkle, and I don't want to give people the wrong impression, though. But yeah, I'm in touch with my feminine side. Let's put it that way. But yeah, so I have done. I did that because I lost my bobbin for.
I found your bobbin.
Yeah, well, I lost the bobbin for the brown alpaca that I was spinning, and because I showed it to you all last time I was doing this. So
it was hiding under the loom.
What was it doing under the loom?
I think it had been on the couch and somebody knocked it.
Okay, I was going to say, did Chris use it as a pull toy? Chris
Possibly.
likes using bobbins as pull toys, which is hilarious, but not. And yeah, so I'll get back to that as soon as I'm done with my first ever spinning project. And then I'll have another FO to talk about at that point in time.
And then we wanted to say congrats to Christine and Gretchen for winning the first rest day prize drawing for the team. They got each 4 ounces of our new Polworth Alpaca Silk Blend.
And when are we sending that out?
I will probably send it out tomorrow.
Nice.
So.
Which will probably be yesterday or today, depending on when I get this video up.
Yeah. But it should be in the mail by the time the podcast is up.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Okay. So next we're going to move on to SSK. So SSK is the Super Summer Knit Together. It's held at the Scarlett Bennett Center in Nashville, Tennessee, and hosted by the Knit Girls. So it's 2 days of retreat followed by a marketplace on Saturday. The marketplace is open to the public. There's a $5 entry fee. We will be there along with lots of other wonderful vendors.
Yep.
And so I wanted to kind of go over what we're bringing, because we're not bringing the whole shebang.
Yeah, we try to curate to the different shows that we've been to what sells well for that time of year or that area, but we're exposing ourselves to a new audience with sort of Midwest, Mideast type of areas. So we're bringing what we consider to be quintessential hipstrings.
And stuff that we're really excited about right now.
Yeah. So obviously we're going to have our spindles and our tools, the control cards and the needle gauges and all that stuff. So that's what started Hipstrings. And I'm gonna ask you to talk about this thing first, because
yes.
it is it's very, very warm in this basement in the middle of summer. So
we're gonna be debuting. Hopefully I can get this all written up. I've been working on it. So this is my first foray into pattern design. So we're calling this the distillation cowl. And it's called the distillation cowl because what it does is it takes either one of our signature blends or one of our variegated colorways and then pulls out the color components from that signature blend or from the variegated colorway in each of the contrast colors.
So these dark bands are not just a single color. They're made up of multiple colors. This is actually peacocky. So it has all of these lighter color bands from the purples, the blues, and the greens in the original fiber that was spun up here. So we're, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're having these both as spinning kits and as knitting kits?
Yeah, so the spinning kits, I don't really have to do much because this takes 1 4-ounce of the signature blend and then one of our merino palettes, which has an ounce each of the 6 colors.
Yeah.
So that's really easy. And then I'm putting together, I'm hoping to have 2 or 3 different yarn kits that have a variegated colorway and then 20-gram mini skeins for each of the semi-solid colors.
Yeah. And what I really like about this, other than the fantastic blending of the colors and that really make the stripes pop out, but each individual bright color stripe has this sort of gathering that give it a neat
ruched.
Ruched, that's the word I'm looking for. That give it a neat texture.
So, and it makes a good size cowl. Nick was wearing it doubled up. I think I figured out that you can also use it like as a cowl plus like snood. Cover your head too. Yeah. Or if it's warm, just let it hang down. So this is, it's spun up as a 2-ply fingering or sport, or it'll take a fingering weight yarn. So we'll be debuting that. I also am going to be bringing some of the Color Theory boxes, which have the 6 blends. So this is a merino, 75% merino, 12.5% Tussa silk, 12.5% mulberry silk blend in 6 shades, but they are just made from primaries plus shades, so black or white or neutral. And we will also have a special signature blend. Where'd you put it?
This one?
Yes, a special signature blend for SSK. So it's a limited run, and it's showing up first at SSK. And this is Pearl for Laura's dog. Name is Pearl. But this is also a superfine merino and pearl fiber blend. So the pearl fiber is a viscose that's infused with nano pearl dust.
That sounds fancy.
I was spinning this last night and I forgot that it was a viscose. I thought this was silk because it spins like mulberry silk.
Yeah.
And so it's purple and grays, which I know are
It's super soft.
Laura's favorite colors. And so we've got a little bit of that coming to SSK. So we're bringing some of our yarns. We're bringing Bouy DK, and we are going to be debuting our special Bouy bags. So a dear friend of mine who also is one of my helpers in the shop and is a fabulous bag maker in her own right, Laura Myers, and her company is Safi Sana. She makes bags for the toddler set, backpacks and treasure bags. But she helped me, we designed this bag together. So it's a tote bag with a Bouy design.
It's got buoys on it.
And it's zippered at the top, and then it opens up completely.
We currently have polyfill in it just to keep it fluffy, but...
And then it also has a pocket in it that will fit a folded sheet of paper to hold your patterns. And it will definitely fit a sweater's quantity of Bouy, because that's what you do with Bouy, is you knit sweaters.
Yep, that's what I'm doing.
And so we just have a handful of these, and they will be offered as a special when you buy a sweater's quantity Bouy, because that's what you want to do. Yep. So we will be bringing lots of Bouy, and I believe we have sweater quantities in every color. And some of the more popular colors, I'm bringing a couple sweater quantities. We're going to be bringing Sabbatical, which is our kind of a sport, almost DK. It's a merino, cotton, flax, silk blend. I knit a sweater out of it earlier this year. I love it. It's really nice to work with.
It's got a very nice drape to it.
It's not super warm.
Yeah, you don't really expect to have that that drape from like a cotton or flax, but it is.
And it's easy on the hands. It's not like knitting with cotton or flax. It's because the merino, it's a lot easier on the hands. So we're bringing that. And then we'll also be bringing a lot of our signature blends. Not all of them, but most of them will have the...
There's going to be a unicorn box.
There's going to be a unicorn box. I just put together unicorn samplers. So all the unicorns will be there, as well as some of our other sparkle blends.
All the current unicorns.
The current unicorns. There are more unicorns on the way.
There are more unicorns on the way.
Our merino silk, our merino tussa flax, our Shetland Manx tussa flax, the gemstones, the My Favorite Things collection, and the Pittsburgh collection. And we'll have boxes for My Favorite Things and Pittsburgh. We'll also be bringing some of our luxury fiber, as well as a tiny bit of cotton, some hand-dyed cotton, some cotton sampler kits, and some of my favorite cotton to spin. So hopefully we can convert some people to cotton spinning during SSK.
After all the nasty things we said about cotton earlier in the podcast.
We didn't say nasty things.
No, we said nasty things about wheel spinning cotton.
We said, yeah.
You just need to buy a spindle to go along with your cotton.
And we will have plenty of those, especially Mistrals. I have a ton of Mistrals.
All right. Well, we hope most importantly to see you, even if you don't buy anything. We love hanging out with people. We love talking about this stuff. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing a podcast.
And Nick makes it worth your while to come to the booth.
Because I'm such an excellent teacher?
Yes, yes.
Or is
exactly.
The kilt?
I hear more about you in the kilt than about your teaching. I'm sorry.
Okay, you've made me speechless then. I don't know if we can catch the redness in my face at the moment, but all right then. Well, that's a fantastic note. Thank you to everyone that has come to the shop. It gives me an opportunity to put that scrolling here.
Yeah. I completely rearranged the shop today because that's what you do when you've got a show in a week.
Yeah, yeah.
I was moving things around to make sure that displays worked for the show. And then other stuff was empty, and I couldn't have that, so I just rebalanced the entire studio.
Good.
So everything has, I like it better. It's better organized, has better lighting for like the yarn and stuff.
So our next...
So you should stop by the studio and check out how I've rearranged things.
Well, we've got a craft night tomorrow night, but the following week we will be closed.
Yes.
Since we'll be at SSK. And then I think we're almost back to normal until Waynesburg.
Not Waynesburg.
Or not Waynesburg. Shenandoah.
Mm-hmm.
Shenandoah Valley is the next one after that.
No, I have a trunk show.
Oh, that's
at
right.
Clover Hill.
You got the trunk show at Clover Hill and
Yes.
the time at Otakon as well.
Yeah.
So.
Second weekend in August, I will be doing trunk show at Clover Hill in Catonsville, Maryland.
All right. Cool. Well, lots of opportunities to see all of you. So thank you very much for watching, and happy spinning.
Happy spinning.
Happy knitting.
Happy everything.